You are 361. Okay. And you go back to your spot at 215. Right. Already have Scraggy. So, Shellos is the next one. So, our being done catching is actually going to be kind of interestingly, kind of coincidentally set up with also being done evolving everything I currently have access to. Yeah, the on-demand box function came back from Let's Go, and I think it was like probably the #1 feature that I was hoping that we would get. It's so good. And keep in mind, it is disabled for certain areas, so you don't have on-demand box for, like, gyms. So when you go into a gym, on-demand box is turned off, so I imagine it's going to do the same thing for, like, the Elite Four when we finally get there. Also, Pokemon that are tossed into the box do not get healed. This is kind of an important part. You don't get healing for that. When you go to the Poke Center and you heal in the Poke Center, that will then heal everything in the box as well, apparently. But yeah, there's no heals, so it's just very useful, especially for what I'm doing, just like in the field, being able to swap out instead of having to travel back to the Poke Center every time. Really, really good feature, and I'm very glad they did it. Now, what I really need, and I haven't seen yet, and I don't know, I don't know where you would get one. And I haven't seen one, so I can't check my decks yet. But I need a Ditto. I don't even know if they're in the game, which is actually an important thing. Yeah, you can't swap in box, so that particular speedrun strat's not available to us. Can't swap in and out of box to heal. That's not good. But I can use the box to very quickly, like, swap Pokemon in for evolutionary sake, organize my boxes, stuff like that. So again, for the, like, express point and purpose that I am currently doing, which is, if I consider using the box in other ways. I mean, I'm not sure what other ways you're talking about. For speedruns? The speedrun doesn't want to use the box. There's nothing that the box can do that my speedrun would want. Like, I'm gonna want... Right now, I only want to catch 2 Pokemon on top of my starter. I have not seen a reason to catch more than that. So the box will get completely ignored. And right now, there's enough free heals that I'm probably not going to touch the Poke Center at all. Okay, did I get any evolutions out of that? Nope. Kling Klang's data will be added to the Pokedex. From its spikes, it launches powerful blasts of electricity. Its red core contains an enormous amount of energy. Now, if you're doing a catch-em-all speedrun or a catch-all obtainables, you'll use the box, and you'll probably use it for the exact thing I'm doing, which is just quick swap in and out as you move. You could deal with scenarios faster? I'm not sure what you mean. Let's Go Eevee uses it for a completely different reason. In Let's Go Eevee, you have to catch 50 Pokemon to go into Koga's gym. There's no such requirement here. Oh, hey, happy birthday, Meta. And thank you for the luck. Well, I don't need to rotate in new Pokemon. Like, that's not going to be necessary. As I said, I'm only going to have 3 Pokemon max for the speedrun. And I'm assuming the true speedrun is not going to even use the 3rd one I'm thinking of. Like, I'm thinking about using a... Oh, this asshole. Oh, this son of a bitch. Die, you piece of shit. You will... I am going to spend a hyper potion just to kill you. Am I not doing Let's Go Eve anymore? I'm not doing it right now. I'll probably go back to it later. I'm spending a hyper potion just to kill you. Die. Like, I got a pretty good time in Let's Go Eevee, so I'm going to take a break from it for now. I'll go back to it later. I'm going to try to speedrun this. Because I'm enjoying this. A lot of fun. And I'll be honest, having a full controller in my hand instead of a half controller feels really good. Like, it feels better on my fingers. Nothing I really want there. Oh, hey, it's Glaceon. Okay. Are you talking about Let's Go Eevee, or are you talking about this? Because in this, there are no required catches. That's what I'm telling you. Eevee's different. Eevee, there is required catches, and that's why we rotate. But this game doesn't have required catches. Yeah, like, that's what we do in Eevee, is we rotate. And we never deal with centers. But we're talking about a very different speedrun. Yeah, at this point for Let's Go Eevee, it's not really tactics, it's execution for me. In this, it's going to be tactics. I'm going to be figuring out my tactics from the ground up. In Let's Go Eevee, I'm currently working with tactics created by the world record holder, and I'm just trying to get better at the game. Not good. Good news is, this Glaceon is an ice Pokemon, obviously, so it's not getting hurt by the hail. So I don't have that particular time limit. Yeah, no, like really good speedrunners have been making tactics for Let's Go Eevee for the past year. So a lot of that stuff has already been considered and has already been used. But remember, cycling in and out of a box does not heal your Pokemon at all. So that doesn't help at all. You cycle out of the box just to get it out of your party and have less time in level up screens. Okay. There's my Glaceon. Yeah, this game's not going to care about that, so I will be reasonably surprised if we touch the Pokemon box at all in this game. Other than to put away gift Pokemon, but I really haven't seen any gift Pokemon yet. I'll use the box to get rid of my Vanillux after I've used it for the Dragon Gym. It secretes a purple fluid to deter enemies. This fluid isn't poisonous. Instead, it's super sticky, and once it sticks, it's very hard to unstick. Okay. And there's Glaceon. Any who become captivated by the beauty of the snowfall that Glaceon creates will be frozen before they know it. Why are all Pokemon just, like, terrible for people? I don't get it. Like, just in general, if a Pokemon is in the area, it seems to be just bad for, like, humanity in general. Yeah, I'm not saying anything to, like, discourage you from trying to come up with strategies in any way, so don't take this as that. But one thing to remember is that a bunch of speedrunners have put a full year into making Let's Go Eevee a better speedrun. And then on top of that, you also got to remember that Let's Go Eevee is basically Pokemon Red. And so a lot of the stuff was already kind of known. And therefore it's like not a surprise. You can go ahead and experiment. Like, again, I'm not trying to dissuade you from doing that. But, you know, some of the stuff that is obvious will already have been accounted for by players. Not to be held by Pokemon, this offensive vest raises special defense, but prevents the use of status moves. Interesting. Wait, what the hell? Is there more wild area? Whoa! Buddy, pal, friend, please come and sit. One thing I would kind of recommend is that if you're trying to help route, and like the speedrun community always wants people to try to help route. If you want to help route, one thing you should do is be very familiar with the speedrun as it is, so that you're not retreading old ground. So, like, I would recommend go watch Etiquette's world record run, and maybe, like, the second and third place runs as well, and maybe go look at the, go look at the, like, notes for the speedrun, so that way you're aware of what we're already doing. That's one of the reasons why this is going to be interesting, because over this next week, especially on, like, Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be trying to make, a brand new speedrun route for this game. I'm not going to be looking at, like, the routes being done by the other runners. So I'm going to try to make my own route for this and kind of see what I can come up with first, because nothing is known. Or at least nothing that I'm aware of. Like, I haven't looked at other routes, so I haven't checked to see if the game's only been out for a couple of days. So there's no, like, major agreed upon route yet. So that's what's going to be fun for me, is that there's no agreed upon route yet, so I'm going to be trying to make a brand new route. So because this game is so new, there's definitely going to be that, like, room for, you know, deviations and changes and stuff like that. You know, I was talking to Medev, and I was saying that, you know, like, I think I know what the major Pokemon are going to be, just based on the knowledge I have of the game, and, like, type advantages and stuff that I did during my casual play. But in my casual play so far, I've been fairly over-leveled, because I've been doing a lot of catching, and I've also, I have fought pretty much every Pokemon I've been able to find. That is going to make my decisions very different when I'm actually playing, you know... Yeah, no, we do not want to visit a Poké Center ever. Like, we do not want to visit a Poké Center even once. If we can help it. I'm trying to set up what I want to do to this thing. I'm trying not to kill it. And, of course, I say that, and the thing I instantly do is kill it. Annoying. Okay, Meowth's evolving. So yeah, like, we're going to be avoiding combat wherever possible. We're going to be avoiding... So, like, dodging any non-required trainer is going to be a big thing. Berserker. What appears to be an iron helmet is actually hardened hair. This Pokemon lives for the thrill of battle. But yeah, we're going to be, like, avoiding optional fights. Yep, this is the Galarian Meowth. Or that was the Galarian Meowth. This is the... It's not even a Persian anymore. It's Berserker now. But yeah, we're going to be avoiding any, like, non-required fights. We're not going to be catching. What I find very interesting about this game is that, catching is not, like, it's very, very easy to dodge wild Pokemon. Like, a lot easier than you might expect it to be. So, and that makes, that's a very interesting concept. So, we're not going to have wild Pokemon. We're not going to have, for the most part, we're not going to have these wild encounters. So, it's going to make healing a little bit less of a problem because there's not going to be as much to heal. But what this also means is that we're not going to be, like, gaining levels necessarily as quickly as you might want to. So we're probably going to be under-leveled for the majority of the fights that we're going to have. So being under-leveled is going to make things very different. So that's where routing is going to become a big concern. It's what Pokemon do we use? So what Pokemon have the biggest type coverages that allow us to win as fast as possible? Again, especially considering the fact that we are going to be underleveled at literally all times. We're not switching to save off heals. That's literally not how the speedruns work. Like, I really recommend going and looking up a Pokemon speedrun, because we just don't do that. Usually what happens, so I don't know if this is going to happen in this game, because this game has been very different so far in terms of a lot of stuff. But usually what would happen is, nope, we don't want a Dragon type. Or at least I don't think we want a Dragon type. They take way too long to evolve. Usually what's going to happen is that you use, like, your starter for a while, and in most Pokemon games, you use your starter for some time, and then eventually you switch mains to something else down the line, something stronger, like a legendary, or a Pokemon that has better type coverage over the majority of the game. There's some other stuff they tend to do there. So the problem is, I haven't seen a single legendary so far, and, you know, I'm past the 8th gym. So I don't think a legendary switch is going to happen. So it's not going to be a legendary switch. So the next question is, okay, can we, you know, Pokemon, I think Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they do a trade to get a Pokemon that, I don't think Dragon has the largest type advantage count. I don't care about being strong. I don't care about taking less damage. I care about dealing more damage. And Dragon's not strong as a type against most things. Like, if you go look at a type chart, Dragon is strong against Dragon and literally nothing else. It has no type advantage against anything else. Now, a lot of, like, Fire, Water, Grass, and Electric are only half as useful against Dragon. But that does not make Dragon a useful type. Nope. Dragon has exactly one double effective. Ground has 5. I think Ground might be the most. Fighting has 5 as well. But also, again, Dragons take forever to evolve. So I don't want to take that time. Honedge evolves in twins. The two blades rub together to emit a metallic sound that unnerves opponents. Neat. So sometimes you trade to get a powerful Pokemon. So, again, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon trades to get, I forget the name of the, Hawlucha. And the Hawlucha has guaranteed stats, and it's also very strong against the majority of the Pokemon you kind of run into. So that game trades to get a strong thing. Dragons aren't glass cannons. They just take forever to get there. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with dragons. I'm just saying they don't have the... They take too long to get to be strong enough. So what we're looking for is we're looking for Pokemon that we can get as fast as possible that is strong against the majority of Pokemon that we're going to fight against. And it needs to be something we can get fairly quickly. So the thing is, if you go look at the gyms that we encounter in this game, So, and keep in mind, I haven't seen all the fights yet, so I'm not confirmed on this. But Gym 1 is grass, Gym 2 is water, 3 is fire, 4 is fighting, 5 is fairy, 6 is rock, 7 is dark, 8 is dragon. So, a combination of Sobel, which is water type, but also gets a ghost move and a bug move, and Corvi, which gets flying, steel, and dark. Between those two Pokemon, we basically have super effective coverage against six different gyms. Almost, then one of them we're just going to overpower, and then the Dragon Gym, I'm thinking about bringing in an Ice Pokemon to deal with the Dragon Gym. Classipod's data will be added to the Pokedex. It will do anything to win, taking advantage of every opening and finishing opponents off with small claws on its front legs. Again, Dragon is, like, fire, water, grass, and electricity are only half as strong against Dragon. So the big thing was the only things that, in Gen 1 and, like, Gen 2, the only things that were super effective against dragons were ice and other dragons. So that's probably what you're thinking about. Average size form. Eerie cries emanate from its body in the dead of night. The sounds said to be the wails of spirits who are suffering in the afterlife. And I think the other notable typing quirk is that dragon is super effective against itself. So that's probably what you were thinking of. Okay, I don't need that. That's a Pumpkaboo. I don't need that. Yeah. So one of the things I would really recommend, like, highly, is that if you want to help with routing, and again, the Pokemon community, like, speedrunning in general, always wants help with routing, and people who are willing to test stuff and figure stuff out. But if you want to help with that, my recommendation is to start by going and watching some Pokemon speedruns, so you get an idea of what Pokemon wants in its speedruns. Like, what effects, what abilities, what it is that we basically look for. And I'm saying I've only run one game, so take a lot of what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But go, figure out what is it that Pokemon needs, and then that will help you figure out how it is that you can help. Like, one of the big things that I can name that is really helpful for Pokemon is, like, stat routing. So, not just super effectives, but also, what level do we need to be when we hit such and such a gym? You know? And when we hit that gym, how many X items do we need in order to effectively beat this gym with the least amount of item uses possible? So there's stuff like that. But it's also, okay, so what trainers are required? So we'll be able to figure out, because when I say required, I mean trainers that you can't dodge. So what trainers are required? What do I need to do to beat them? Do we need something for that? There's that. How do we route our moves? Because one of the big things with moves is, remember, we don't want to, we never want to Poke Center if we can help it. So in a lot of Pokemon games, there are free heals, and this game is one of them. So there's free heals at times. So when we get a free heal, we get a full heal for all of our Pokemon and a full PP restore. It's basically a free Pokemon Center. So when we get free heals, it's great. But there's going to be times where we're not going to get a free heal. So because of that, PP routing becomes kind of a problem. That was a crit capture, by the way. I didn't know it was happening, so it was really hard for me to point out. But we'll get free heals. But the problem is, if I have a move that only gets 10 uses, and I need, to go a long time to be able to use those 10 uses, which particular trainers are the best uses of those 10 uses? Has the world's largest petals. With every step, the petals shake out heavy clouds of toxic pollen. Yeah, it's a lot of it's route math in Pokemon. What is the best, most efficient path that I can take to get where I need to go? Okay, this is flying. What am I going to take in to fight it? Just level 41 Rhydon? I think level 56 Lapras is probably my best option here. By the way, this is something you haven't seen yet. Welcome to Dynamax fights. Yeah, a lot of it's calculation. Oh. It's a Corvisquire. Okay. Oh, we'll capture it anyways. So yeah, the calculation number engineering is a big thing that we need, because a lot of stuff changes, especially at level ranges, to know if I'm this level with this nature with this Pokemon, how likely am I to one-shot my opponent? Like, that's a huge deal. Specifically the one-shotting. We want to kill Pokemon in one move. So, what's the range? Am I 100% guaranteed? Is it a 75% chance? So, that's what goes into the routing for this game. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to build a very basic route. But again, it's going to be very basic. It's going to be my first attempt at actually routing a game in general. I have some ideas, but it's going to be very basic. Yeah, it's basically Godzillamon. Yep. And that's actually where the story is going, is that Dynamax stuff is going to happen everywhere instead of in the, like, very specific places that Dynamax usually happens. So we have to figure out how to deal with it. They're basically raid bosses. So you get a bunch of stuff for actually doing those. A bunch of items, TMs, stuff like that. Okay, I think I'm just about done in the wild zone for now. Oh, hey, there's a Hawlucha. Yeah, I mean, Hawlucha is a very hype poke. Why does every poke have Roost or Rest? Like, fuck off with this shit. So yeah, that's why my that's why the route that I'm thinking of that I want to do is currently using, or the one I have in my head is currently based around using using your starter, which is a water starter, using a bird you catch on the first route you're on, and then using an ice Pokemon that you can catch on, like, in the first section of the Wild Zone. So from what I've seen so far, is that those 3 Pokemon should be able to beat everything in the game. Now, I don't know how true that's actually going to be, but drives its opponents to exhaustion with its agile maneuvers and ends the fight with a flashy finishing move. Okay. I think we're going to call that good for my current catching segment. So, because I've done basically everything I needed to do here. That goes to 320. Let's see, and you go way back here. Okay. You are 331. 192. Deal with that in a second.